I've had a number of discussions recently about the current standing of scientific knowledge about the universe and about some of the new discoveries which have come about specifically in field theory, where there's an understanding now in the scientific community that there is a undetectable, unmeasurable field which allows information to be exchanged. And that's come out of the quantum mechanics research at the CERN Institute, which is a good sign that science is finally moving forward on the idea that there are other energies in this world and other networks that they don't recognize. And now they've found evidence of it. The other thing has been seeing scientists talking about the Big Bang Theory and about what existed before the Big Bang. And that's something that many people struggle with. As an engineer and a scientist, I've studied physics and astrophysics in my undergraduate degrees, but recently I've looked at the theory of all things, which is the current stand of the theory that takes quantum physics into astrophysics and tries to give a full theory of the universe as it's put together. The interesting thing about the holes in this theory of all things is that, for instance, it does not explain gravity. Quantum mechanics doesn't explain gravity. And that seems to be a very big hole. The other thing is that nobody really knows what happened before the Big Bang, what existed before the Big Bang. And the theory itself has a number of holes in it, because if you assume that all the energy in the universe existed at a single point, at a singularity, then to explain what's happened since then becomes very difficult. You need dark energy, dark matter to make the equations work out. But the amount of dark energy and the amount of dark matter that is required to explain the acceleration of the universe is huge. And we should be able to find this dark energy, dark matter, because it's so prevalent. There are other theories of the universe which aren't being pursued right now because there's not enough funding to pursue them. But there are different explanations. And that is that one of those is that this energy that came to create the Big Bang came from another dimension. And the universe is open to that dimension, so that there's a continuing flow of energy into the universe, which is exemplified by the acceleration of the universe. And that is a different explanation. It doesn't require dark energy or dark matter to explain the behavior of the universe if the universe is an open system. It also addresses the situation before the Big Bang, that actually something did exist before the Big Bang, something that, like field theory, doesn't, is something we can't explain, is something we don't know. But if you open up the possibility that something did exist before the Big Bang, then it starts to make sense. If you look at the knowledge that's been gained by astrophysics, quantum physics, and now relate those to philosophy and to religion, they put a scale into philosophy that hasn't been there before. So if you believe that God created the universe in a big bang, then you have to ask the question, what has he been doing for 13.7 billion years? Maybe that's why many Christians believe that the earth is only 6,000 years old, because trying to understand what God's been doing for 13.7 billion years is unfathomable for them. I've spent my life looking at these issues, and it's an interesting conclusion that I've been able to come to, and that is that the Big Bang was the middle of the story of the Bible. In other words, in Genesis 1, it talks about God separating the waters, that some of the waters are above a firmament and some are below the firmament. Well, water is also representative of a huge number of atoms. And in philosophy, we hear about the sea, which is a huge amount of atoms. But we talk about Poseidon being the ruler of the bitter sea. And the bitter sea can also mean that that's this water which is below the firmament, which is outside of the system. And to me, that's what happened, is that after the fall of the angels, the fall of 1/3 of heaven, God separated them and cast them into cast them out of heaven, below the firmament, separated from God. And then after Adam and Eve failed their test in paradise, which was also below this firmament, he then created a new test. He created a material world in order to test all of the fallen. And that's what's been happening for the last 13.7 billion years, is God created this material universe to retrieve 1/3 of the fallen souls of heaven. And that 1/3, from what we see in Revelations 12, is 1/3 of the stars of heaven. It's an enormous number. It's billions of trillions of spiritual beings which were cast out of heaven. The waters, the sea, the bitter sea, just the seas of angels cast out. And now when you look around you in nature, you can comprehend that every single living thing on this planet has one of those souls in it. Every single living thing. Every blade of grass, every tree, every insect, every animal is going through this physical environment in order to become virtuous again. And it is a long, long, slow process that's been going on for 13.7 billion years. And it won't be finished until the end of the world, which is in about 3 billion years, when the earth will become too close to the sun. That's the magnitude of the fall of 1/3 of heaven. It's the reason why we're here, and it explains what existed before the Big Bang.